Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that can hear the sound of my voice to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture our petty and ill-informed opinions about a variety of topics for the last time for 2, maybe 3 weeks. Don't know how I'll feel on the 25th, or maybe I'll just need a distraction. Nikki, how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Hmm.
Hmm,
Tom,
doing
how
really
are
good.
you?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm just wondering why on earth I ever took any interest ever in competitive sports. It's a thoroughly depressing business for almost everyone who
Oh,
supports a sporting person or team or country. The results are disappointment rather than delight 9 times out of 10. So it is, well, maybe I
I
back
mean,
out.
yeah,
I backed the right horse in 1998 when I chose to support the New England Patriots in the NFL. That was sensible. If they never win another Super Bowl again, I've had 6 in my lifetime, which is far, far more than any NFL fan has got any right to expect from their team. So that is fabulous.
I've had
Um,
I was
one
gonna,
ever.
yeah. I mean, me and Nikki are Saints fans. We got one each, and the year they won was the year I was deported. So,
that
so
was against when the Saints beat the Colts in Super Bowl about 2009 or 10.
Yeah, funny thing about that, when Drew Brees played for the Chargers, I said he was going to win a Super Bowl because I really liked the cut of his jib, and my then wife at the time, argued the fuck out of me with it, and yeah, I won that argument in the end.
Exactly.
Drew Brees was an incredible player, and it's unbelievable that he only made one Super Bowl. Thank God he won it, or he would never have.
Well,
Well, let's
he
be
never had a
honest.
supporting cast.
Well, not no. Okay, hold on. He has Kamara. He has a good
Hmm.
supporting cast, but here's the problem. Think about the two Super Bowls they should have went to and they were fucked in the playoffs. That game
Uh,
against the Rams, those were bad calls and they were made on purpose. And basically a lot of those bad calls still stem from bad feelings that the organization feels towards the Saints because there for a while they got in trouble essentially for having a hit list and they were injuring other players on purpose.
I mean,
And this was like a long ass time ago though, but they still have that kind of people do not like them
and
within
the
the
thing about
organization.
those Super Bowls that you allegedly won when you were supporting the Patriots, Tom,
yeah.
given how we all saw how Tampa Bay was handed the Super Bowl for
Absolutely.
Tom Brady last,
Hmm.
I wonder how many of those were legit.
Right,
That's
especially
all I.
since they had the whole, balls being deflated kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Belichick was literally caught cheating.
Yeah.
Deflate Gate, Spygate. Oh yeah, we were a bunch of cheating assholes for
Oh yeah,
sure. I mean,
100%.
Tom Brady was guilty as sin, guilty as hell
Hmm.
with the Deflate Gate for sure. And he did. I mean, he did it. He absolutely deflated those balls and was that. I love the wording of the final statement from the NFL. They said we don't have a smoking gun, but it is more probable than not that Tom Brady was at least generally aware of the plan to deflate the balls. I'm pretty sure that there was CCTV footage of the guy with the balls going into a locker room that didn't have a camera inside it, like a bathroom. He said he was taking a leak, but he blatantly had time to deflate all those balls before bringing them out to the field.
Uh,
Yep. I mean, yeah, and anyone that watched the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, Jesus, that was
yeah.
so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, all he has to do is say he's not going to play another one. They're just going to give him another Super Bowl. Like, come on. He was given plenty. Okay, he was
Yeah.
given plenty of Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So anyway, how are you, Richard?
Yeah, not bad.
I
Not
like
bad
how
at
everybody.
all.
Good.
Yep. So I have two little things to talk about. I went to KFC today.
Hmm.
KFC was something that was really good when I was a kid and got terrible when I was like a teenager and into my 20s, and I didn't
Yeah.
go there for a while. But it's recently gotten better. Their fries, especially Chef's Kiss. Wow. and the chicken's not bad anymore either. So sometimes I'll head up to KFC, and today it was like the worst experience of my entire life.
No.
I have been to many fast food restaurants in my lifetime,
Go on.
and today was just the worst. So we went to the drive-through because why the hell do you want to go into a restaurant if they've got drive-throughs? I'll never understand.
Correct.
I mean, if you're a teenager, you can't drive, fair enough. But if you've got a car, then why are you ever going to go into the restaurant
Thank
if you don't have to?
I feel that way. Like, I don't want to go in
Oh.
anywhere.
The nearest Burger King doesn't have a drive-through, so if you want to get that, you've got to go in there. But you know, if they had a drive-through, I'd take the drive-through. You know, the coffee shops, Costa and Starbucks, they've all got drive-throughs. McDonald's has a drive-through. KFC has a drive-through. Drive-throughs are the way forward, guys. Get with the times. But anyway,
I love that it's like not everywhere. Like in America, all of our fast food has drive-throughs. Coffee has drive-throughs. Liquor stores have drive-throughs. Like we have like 2 drive-through tobacco stores in one of our little smaller cities.
we don't have any drive-through tobacco stores, but
You guys do drive-through liquor stores?
no.
Yeah, see, America.
Anyway, so we placed the order, and they're like, "We're a little busy. Can you park up?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, park up." Usually, I have to park up at KFC because they make the chicken from scratch. That's fine. So we park up. 10 minutes pass, and we're like, making small talk. We're hungry. We're waiting. It's pissing down with rain. We're like, obviously, no one wants to come out in this. The rain eases off. We're like, yeah, okay. So where's our food? 20 minutes passes. No food. Started to getting a little irritated. We're not the only ones. There's a guy opposite us looking very agitated. He actually gets out of his car and storms into the restaurant. Walks out a few minutes later, still looking angry, sits down in his car, slams the door shut. 30 minutes pass. Nothing. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I'm going to have to go in, aren't I? So that takes like 5 minutes to psych myself up. I don't like confrontation, especially with especially with people in the customer service industry who I know from experience already have it pretty bloody tough.
Right.
But I go in and I'm really nice. I'm like, we ordered our food 30 minutes ago. Could we please
maybe get that?
Please tell me, where it is. And he's like, the manager. And let me tell you, I'm pretty sure a Marine wouldn't have the same look in his eyes after the worst battle of his entire military career. This manager had had enough. He had hand glided over hell. Like, dark circles under his eyes. He's got bloodshot
that 20-yard stare.
Yeah, and he looked at me and I was like, oh, Jesus, I wish I hadn't said anything now. And he turns around in front of me, goes, where's their fucking order? I'm like, God damn, one of those days. And the person that's working for him looks and goes, oh, what was it? And I tell him what our food order was. Hands me a bag that's just sitting on the side. It's been there for a while. Get it back to the car. Yeah, it's been there for at least 20 minutes because it's stone cold.
Wow.
And they got it wrong.
That sucks.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
dear.
Jesus. That's the worst experience I've ever had in a restaurant, in a fast food restaurant. And I've eaten in Colorado restaurants.
That doesn't surprise me. When a KFC opened here about 10 years ago, and maybe a little bit longer, blimey, yeah. And when they did, they were absolutely shockingly crap. The amount of they got their order wrong well over 50% of the time. What I used to do was I would get the order, get my food, go through the drive-through, get my food, go on about 10 yards, enough for the next car to park up at the window behind me. And then before I drive off, I'd stop, check, more often than not, there was something missing. I'd just get up, walk back to the window, interrupt the poor bloke or woman behind me. Let's go, excuse me, we're missing this and this and this. And they have to go and get it and that kind of thing. I mean, and there was one time where they said, we're running a bit late on everything tonight. Can we go? Can we please go behind to the car park? And they went and parked, and there was about 10 other cars all waiting for their order. And whenever this poor young lady came out with a bag of food, she had no idea which car it was for. And she's just going, she's just hopelessly trying to match her meal to the correct waiting owner. We were there for about half an hour. One of my kids wet themselves in the back seat. We were so long. It was just, it was so tedious. Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Well,
Nicky, do you have any fast food horror
tedious.
stories?
Well, I mean, it ends a bit quickly, that story, but that's honestly what happened.
I had Uber Eats barbecue delivered to me, and when I opened the bag, a giant cockroach ran out of the bag.
No way.
Yeah,
That's free protein.
this was like a few months ago. I think but generally, I don't know. If I'm going to fast food, my expectations are non-existent. And most of the time I'm not in any kind of hurry, so I don't give a shit. Now, regular sit down restaurants, I've got some horror stories, but I mean, I'm American, so I think anybody can tell you horror stories if they've ever been to like a Waffle House or something like that, or an IHOP. But no, fast food, I don't know, I just expect shit, I just expect that it's probably going to be wrong or not good or, super slow or whatever. If I want fast and quick and whatever, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A every time.
Yeah.
But, otherwise, if I'm dumb enough to sit my ass in a McDonald's parking, drive-through, then I'm there for the long haul, dude. If it takes 30 minutes, I'm playing on my phone for 30 minutes. I don't care.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I'm too laid back to really get pissed off about that. Now, if I'm sitting down at a restaurant, like I went to an IHOP one time and it was completely empty. It was literally my group and two other people in the entire restaurant. It was like 2:00 in the morning. It took them 10 or 15 minutes to get our drink orders. And then it took us over 45 minutes to get our food. And when I did get my eggs, they were so cold that I get my eggs over medium. The yolk was gelatinized.
Oh.
So it's one of the very few times I didn't tip.
Huh. You tip at fast food?
No, I was talking about a sit-down restaurant like IHOP.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't tip at fast food.
Yeah, but I consider IHOP to be fast food.
Oh, yeah, I tip at IHOP.
I've never heard of IHOP.
International House of Pancakes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just breakfast food. There's some lunch and dinner food too. It's not too bad, but generally it's 24/7 and it's the place that you go to when you're drunk.
Okay.
Everybody else is closed and you're like, man, I want a greasy burger. You go to IHOP or Waffle House.
It was Denny's where I lived.
Yep, Denny's. That's another good one.
Drunk Denny's. It's kebabs in England.
Oh, really?
Chips and kebab.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're on the way home from the pub. You get a kebab.
Yeah, kebab and chips, yeah. That's British tradition. A traffic cone, chips and a kebab. All right, so the other bit of news I had, unless you wanted to go first, Nikki.
What do you mean?
You said you had something to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead and do yours.
Okay, so Bigfoot news. For those of you that are living in Mars under a rock in a cave that have not heard of the Patterson-Gimlin footage, There is a famous video of what some people say is a Bigfoot walking across a valley in Bluff Creek, California. Probably the most famous Bigfoot related footage there is. It's an old 60s Super 8 film, you know.
And even if you don't know that you've seen it, you've probably seen it. They use
Yeah,
it
exactly.
in everything regarding Bigfoot.
There has been a new documentary made called Capturing Bigfoot, which claims to have ultimate proof that it was in fact a hoax. They've got Bob Gimlin in the suit for a dry run, and they've got people confessing. They've got Bob Gimlin's son saying that it was a hoax. Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson, for context, are the people that took the video. It's long in the 90s, a bloke named Bob Hieronymus claimed to be the man in the suit because everybody else was making money off it. He said, why couldn't he? And a lot of people have staunchly, denied that with size comparisons and all kinds of bullshit. And as you can imagine, diehard believers in Bigfoot are staunchly fighting the idea that the Patterson-Gimlin footage could be hoaxed.
Whereas I've been screaming that since the get-go.
Well, the thing is, I used to believe in the Patterson-Gimlin footage back when it was grainy footage, but the more that they 4K up the resolution and stuff of the footage, the faker it's looked. Like, to me, it just looks like a dude in a suit now.
Yeah.
A dude in a suit.
I mean, and essentially it is. I mean, most Bigfoot footages are just guys in ghillie suits out in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, there's only two quote-unquote videos that are thought to be legitimate, and that's the Patterson-Gimlin film and the Freeman footage are the only two that are thought to be legitimate.
Yep.
Quote-unquote. I don't know about the Freeman footage. I mean, the dude was caught hoaxing footprints, so that was like...
Right.
Is it too much to ask that he's going to put a dude in a monkey suit up the road from him? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what the Bigfoot community is going on and about at the moment, is this new documentary capturing Bigfoot. It was shown at an independent film festival. There were plans for it to be shown again, but now people are worried about piracy. And to be honest, yes. Because now that it's trending, it's going to be really pirated the next time they show it. Because, well, I'm going to freely admit it, I'm going to be looking for it. So yeah, that's what's going on.
That's awesome.
How do you get to watch it legitimately?
You have to go to the film festival, I guess.
I'm sure they'll release it somewhere streaming.
Yeah, they'll probably release it streaming at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to watch it.
Oh yeah, me too. When I heard about it, I was like, ooh, I got to tell Richard. You didn't watch this. I did too, and you already knew about it. So I told you, it just wasn't, I didn't get to tell you first.
When did we have this conversation?
Like the day I found out about it. I can't remember how I found out, but I was talking to you in the car. And I was like, hey, I heard this. And you said, yeah, I heard.
Oh, yes. Gabby also wanted a story told before I forget and move on to you, Nikki. A minute, I've got it here. I did actually have it all ready to go. So, pandas at the National Zoo are flirting with each other.
No.
That's true, we all know my opinions on pandas, but apparently everyone else will be super happy to hear this.
Yeah. They're adorable. And listen, they're really dumb. And I'm glad that they they're flirting with each other. It's a good, it's a good start. Maybe they were just shy. They just need to warm up to each other for a bit. And they're dumb, so that little bit takes a really long time. Or maybe they showed them the right kind of panda porn.
They've been sniffing each other and staring each other through mesh howdy walls.
No.
They're not allowed in the same enclosure, obviously, because they'll kill each other because they're functionally
Dumb.
not dumb, really, really stupid, and we shouldn't have wasted so much money trying to keep them alive, but whatever.
But they're adorable.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why we've wasted so much resources
Cute.
keeping these dumbass animals alive.
Pretty
talking about a
privilege is
species-
real.
that won't even fuck to save its own kind. And just I hate pandas so much.
I think.
Yes,
they're adorable.
Gabby, I've got the story up. So I didn't even need to look at the message to know what she was sending me. Yeah, so there's a lot of flirting going on right now. One of the zookeepers said they've been exhibiting more flirtatious behavior. Bao Lin is all amped up. His testosterone is very high and he's very active. He's scent marking a lot and he's looking for the ladies.
Heck
King
yeah.
Bao has been very active. She started to look for Bao Li, but she's vocalizing at him. So that's apparently pandas flirting, is pissing on things and yelling. I mean, to
Well,
be fair.
I mean, that's most males in the animal kingdom. Let's be honest.
Birds
But
are the only species I feel like that get it right.
You think that
Male builds a nest, does a little dance, sings a little song, gets a woman. Simple.
yeah. Interpretive dance.
Yeah.
I love that. I will expect that from now on.
Well, some birds have some really mean mating rituals.
Name one.
Okay,
Ducks rape other ducks, so that's why they have like corkscrew vaginas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ducks. Fair enough.
They're
What?
They're
birds.
more in.
What-
Argentinian lake ducks, of course, have the largest penis comparative to its size of any animal.
No,
No,
that's
no,
the
you-
barnacle. Barnacles have the longest penis compared to their body size. That's 10 times longer.
And a lake duck has got a pretty long dick, and they use it to lasso females. I'm not even joking.
Nor
That's
am I.
hilarious.
It's all about the barnacle, man.
All about the barnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my duck could kick your barnacle's ass.
They're just dick fighting with each other.
Just kick, sword fighting.
I mean, but this is funny. If a barnacle were to fight a duck, they would literally be having an argument over who had the biggest dick.
Yeah.
Normally, that's a metaphor.
But
Like
yeah,
when you have
no,
rope-
I feel like that birds have it all figured out right. I mean, spiders, they have to do a dance and stuff as well, but they get eaten if they get it wrong. Birds just get
Yeah.
rejected.
It's tough on those spiders.
Yeah, I would not want to be a male spider.
No. Or sometimes they're a fraction of the size of the female. Like the
Yeah,
the male can be absolutely tiny. I'll tell you where I saw all this. It was a David Attenborough documentary series called I think it's Life in the Undergrowth. It's horrible. It's animal torture porn. I mean, there's what these poor insects do to trap each other and to hunt each other, and it's horrible. It's intriguing. It's fascinating, but it's absolutely awful. Like there's spiders that hang on to spiders that have a way of going onto another spider's web and being absolutely still and silent, and the other main spider doesn't know they're there, and they pinch all their food and that kind of thing. There's some it's brute. Nature is, as much as it's bunny rabbits running around fields, it's horrible things as well.
Absolutely brutal.
Proper yin yang stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Gabby's done the research. So the Argentinian lake duck has the largest penis to body ratio among vertebrates, and the barnacle has the longest overall. So you were right.
Woohoo! I was right about something. I wasn't ill-informed. Hey, first time in history. Note it in the books.
You know, Tom knows his dicks. And no one can take that away from
Legendary.
him.
I guess we were both right, really, because I said longest, and they both have the longest. So it's a shit.
Yeah. I'll meet you halfway on that one.
Fucking barnacles. But yeah, no, sorry, but birds have it right. So Nikki, you had something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I learned something really cool today, and I might go I don't know, I might go a little bit more in depth in it. But did you know that the US Marines actually had a Sergeant Reckless, which was a horse that was legitimately made into a sergeant? It wasn't an honorable name. You know how sometimes there's like a duck or a dog or whatever, and they'll give it like an honorable title or rank. Like we actually had a horse in the Marines who wound up being a staff sergeant in like 1948 or 19 like 50s.
World War II.
Yes. So basically so have you heard this story?
I've heard of a different animal that held an actual military rank, but yeah, can continue.
Oh yeah. So during their basically I think they were in Korea in the 50s, and basically so the artillery, they had to walk a very long way with their artillery, and each shell for these guns were like 100 pounds or whatever. It was a lot. So they realized that they really needed a draft horse, but they didn't get one. They ended up getting a race horse. But essentially this horse was meant to take artillery up and down this hill for the military. And during an active battle, she actually made 38 trips with artillery. And like they didn't know if they were going to live or die. And like she took, I think it was like 12 hours. It was 38 trips. It was like she brought back like 50 some soldiers, and like the guys that were behind didn't really know what was going on. She was their only hope, and every time she came back would just fill them with more hope. Okay, she's come back and she's brought men and stuff with her. So she actually saved a bunch of soldiers during wartime, and she got hit with shrapnel twice, and she just kept going. There was one point where they were like, fuck it. They kind of pulled back and they took her to the stable. She slept 6 hours and she went back and she did it again. So then they're trying to get her out of Korea afterwards, right? They've already gave her, she's like a fucking hero. She's a war hero. Just a beautiful horse. She's a war hero. Mm-hmm. They end up going, hey, we need you to we want to take her back home with us. And they're like, how the fuck are we going to do this? They end up having to pull a bunch of strings and then take her back. Well, then like one of the departments, it's not the CDC, but one of the departments actually takes her, and they're like, you can't have her. We don't know that she doesn't have some rare disease, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to destroy her. Where basically they had a bunch of Marines there once they got her to the US hearing this, and they essentially threatened to kill this dude. And he was like, okay, well, we're gonna be nice, and I'm gonna take these blood panels, but he's gonna stay here. And they're like, no, he's not. And he's like, yeah, he's gonna stay here. And they're like, well, we're gonna stay with him. And the guy's like, you don't have to do that. And they're like, no, we do. So anyway, there ends up being like a big party that was going off in what was it? There was a giant party, and they ended up basically stealing her away from the facility and taking her to the party. Well, like a big deal, like a big thing when she was in Korea with the men is that she ate what the men did. You know, she didn't have hay and stuff. You know, whatever the guys were eating, she was eating. She was drinking beer. Like they would mix cocktails in her mouth. She was, you know, she was one of the guys. So they get her over. One of the things that they had a fun time with was that they ended up getting her on a ship, and the captain wouldn't feed her on the ship like regular food. He wanted her to have like hay and seed and what she's supposed to have and all that crap. And she shat all over the place because her stomach wasn't accustomed to it anymore. But anyway, they take her, they steal her from this facility, and they take her to a giant marine like military ball, and everybody like parties with this. There's pictures of this horse eating cake, drinking beer, like just whatever. And she ends up being like legitimately decorated, and they made it so she'll never have to carry anything, or they made it so she never had to carry anything other than her little, you know, blanket on her back. So like they weren't allowed to ride her, to exercise her, so they always got some peon to run 5 miles a day with her, because they can't ride her because she's a sergeant. Like, and if she like nudged you, if you were eating something and she nudged you with her nose, indicating that she wanted it, that was considered a direct order. And you had to give it to her. I'm not kidding. Like they
I believe
treated her like a staff sergeant. She ended up having, oh, it's so funny. So she ends up coming to America. She lives this big cushy life. But, you know, and she's like a massive war hero. Well, she does commercials and stuff. Well, it starts dying down. The military is like, man, we really loved it when everybody was talking about the Marines. Like, we need to do something to get eyes back on us and back on Reckless. So they decide that they're going to hire a thoroughbred, like an award-winning top of like best horse that you can get to have babies with Reckless. And so they didn't tell anybody because it's the military. So of course they don't tell anybody what their fucking plans are.
You don't ask, don't tell. You're not allowed.
Right. So basically, the guy that's supposed to be taking care of Reckless, he doesn't know anything about this. So they tell him, hey, put her in an empty pen in this barn with all the other horses. Don't worry about it. And he's like, okay. Don't worry about it. You know, just do it. And he thought it was weird, but you know, it was a direct order, so fine, whatever. So he leaves, and he comes back, and some random ass horse has gotten into the stall with her and is having his way. Well, the guy freaks out, lets them do their thing. When they finish, he takes Reckless and he like brushes her down, and he's like trying to cover up like all of the proof, the evidence of what just happened to her, because someone just defiled their sweet sergeant and it's on his watch. So he tries to cover it up. He puts her back in the stall. Well, then a big truck comes in, you know, with the thoroughbred, and the sergeant, or the guy that's supposed to be taking care of the Sergeant Reckless, is sitting there, and he cock blocks this thoroughbred all day because he's like, fuck it. No, we can't have this happen again. Because he doesn't know that the thoroughbred's supposed to be mating with her. So when they find out later that she's pregnant, you know, they think it's the thoroughbreds. They're on national television, and they say, well, how did blah, blah, blah. And he's like, they go, remind us the name of the thoroughbred again. He's like, it wasn't a thoroughbred. It was just some random, you know, horse from the stables.
Brilliant.
And
a sex scandal with a famous horse.
Basically, yeah, it was, you know, but no, I thought it was really cool. Like the extent that the military went to get this, like, and not just the military, they had to fool officers, like major officers. They had to like be slick with them, like, oh no, you already signed that was okay, and them not realize that that's what the hell they were signing for, kind of stuff. Like, they really finagled everything about this horse.
Oh yeah, I reckon they pulled every favor they had in to make that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
adorable story.
it is. I thought it was really cool, and apparently there's another story about a duck. I haven't read it yet, and I haven't watched
Not
it.
not a duck. In World War II, a
Mhm,
Polish unit, after Poland was conquered famously,
mhm,
was moving through the woods, and they encountered a small boy who traded them a bear cub for some chocolate.
mhm,
And that bear, the military unit adopted that bear, and it lived with them. Used to drink vodka, used to smoke cigarettes. They trained it to bring them ammo boxes, but it was lazy as fuck. So it
mhm.
would bring them empty ammo boxes 9 times out of 10.
Nice.
And they needed, when they were made contact with the Allies, and because they had to move through Europe to find Allied units to link up with, they had to get on a boat to travel to France and stuff. They had to transport the bear, so they had to give him a rank. So he was an officer of the Polish unit, so they gave him the rank of corporal. Corporal Wojtek, he was called. And they always used to have fun with friend officers from different units that were said, where's this Corporal Wojtek? And they were like, well, he's 6 foot tall. He likes to live in the shower. He'll fight people barehanded. See what it.
Nice.
And at the end of the war, he got out alive. He got shot a few times, but he was all right.
Mhm.
And he retired in Edinburgh Zoo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reckless was given 2 Purple Hearts for the shrapnel that she took. Like, I think I don't know. I love stories like that. The duck was apparently a guy was given a duck and just decided to take it with him.
And Gabby's found a story about an animal that was not only given a rank, but was demoted for unruly behavior.
How on earth did we get to this topic tonight? Animals that have been officially given ranks.
Just because that was a little thing that I learned this weekend. I've had a really good couple of days, honestly. It's been very busy, but I learned a couple things too.
Okay, so it was a goat, and it left the it disrupted a military march, and so the military commission had no option but to demote it.
Oh,
Hmm.
that poor goat. Demoted it into stew, maybe.
No, it was just
Delicious
demoted.
stew.
But he eventually reinstated with full honors in 2006.
Aw, that's good.
Queen's birthday. Oh, this was the British Army. There was a royal goat that was charged with prostitution in the late 19th century.
Not surprised. That's funny.
Brilliant.
Charged with prostitution. Could you imagine being in jail, right? And you're just kind of rotting there. And then
Someone brings
like
in
your
a goat.
cellmate is your goat, is a goat. Like, this is your new cellmate, your new bunkmate. He just stands on the top bunk and like bleats all day, just like that's all he does.
Just staring at you with those weird, freakish goat eyes.
Screaming.
Mhm.
Maybe we should do that to all prisoners. Like, they all get a goat.
Just put them in a cell with the goat.
It'd probably be good for them. Honestly, they're finding, at least in America, I think there's other countries that are doing it too. They're having inmates actually train the police dogs and shit, and take care of dogs, and it's helping the inmates like significantly. They're doing a lot better. Their behavior's improving, all from having a fucking dog. Yeah, pit bulls and parolees.
Pit bulls and parolees.
Anybody think of anything else?
That's it. That's all I
That's it.
got.
Okay. Well, that'll wrap us up for this week then. We
And
will return
in a few
3
weeks.
weeks. Yeah. Maybe the 25th.
Maybe.
Shall see you all then. It's good night from us. And good night from also us.
Night, everyone.
Yeah.